Hello, I'm going to show you now how to use a function called match. Now I'll first of all show you match on its own, but I'll also then afterwards show you how to combine match with Vlookup to make Vlookup, shall we say, a little bit more supercharged when we want to pull more than one heading from another list. Now if I explain what match does, now I'm going to do a match on the word beer in the price list. Now match, its definition is that it's going to find the relative position of where something is within a list. So what I mean by that in non-geeky language is, if I'm trying to find where beer is within this list, the relative position of where beer is it's in position 1, 2, 3, 4. So can you see it's the fourth item down from the top. So this is match. If I type in equals match, open bracket, lookup value is what I'm trying to find, comma, lookup array is either a vertical or a horizontal set of data that we're trying to find our lookup value within. After that, comma, you've got three options. You've got less than, exact match, and greater than. Now, less than and greater than, they're really to do with if you're trying to find a number within a list of numbers that there's no exact match to. But in our case, I'm looking for an exact match for the word beer within that list. So once I'm ready, if I now close that bracket off and press enter, can you see it's telling me that beer is in position 4? If I were to retype in there curry, can you see curry is in position 5? Now you can use match with another function called index if you like, but what match can be really good for is if you want to use it with Vlookup, and it's a much more shallow learning curve to use it with this. So match, if you remember, finds the relative position of where something is within a list. Now let's just park match for a moment. Let's have a look at Vlookup. So Vlookup is where we're going to tell it we're looking for something. So in this case, beer, comma. We're trying to find beer within this list here. And then we come along to something called column index number, where we physically have to sit there, look to see the fact we're trying to find cost, and count where is the cost column. Well, the cost column is column 1, 2, 3. Now that is exactly, and obviously in Vlookup you type in 3, you'd carry on and finish the Vlookup function. And incidentally, if you want to know more about Vlookup, watch the Vlookup video. That's a very quick idea of Vlookup, but if we go back to this idea of 3, that is exactly what match is doing for us. We could get match to find the word cost in those headings and tell us, is cost position 1, or is it 2, or is it 3, or 4, or whatever it is. So if I just show you match going horizontally, this is on its own. So again, look, match, I'm trying to find the word cost, comma, lookup array within this, comma, 0, because I would like an exact match. So once I'm ready, if I now press enter, can you see it tells me that cost is in position 3. Now what I'd also need to do, if I wanted to pull this formula across, really I would need to make this lookup array fixed, so that when I drag this across, when it looks for the word price within this lookup array over here, it doesn't move across the array that it's looking for. And if you need more information about the dollar symbol, please have a look at the maths section and look at relative addressing and using the dollar symbol for more information about that. So can you see cost and price match are telling me where they are in terms of the position in this list. So how shall we say, smush the two things together, the idea of Vlookup and the idea of match? Well, we're going to do a Vlookup function here. And this, largely speaking, is going to be the same as what it was before, with the subtle difference that we have to start thinking about how we are going to dollar off certain parts of the Vlookup function. Now, to add the dollar symbol in, I just press the F4 key on the keyboard. So I'm going to press this until I only have a dollar in front of the A, because when I pull this Vlookup function across by one column, it needs to never move away from column A. I don't want 1 in front of the 5 because when I drag it down, I want it to be allowed to go down to row 6, to row 7, to row 8, for whatever has been placed in the item column there. After that, I'm going to go for a comma, need the table array. So I'm going to highlight over this. I must fix that, so I need to apply dollars in there too, because I don't want that to move away. Comma. Now, me personally, when I'm doing something a bit more complicated, I put some spaces in like this. I'm also going to start and end the match without putting any kind of inputs in there. And I'm going to put some spaces in, and I'm going to make sure I go and finish the VLOOKUP. So I always tend to try and build a function like this, outside in or inside out. It tends to make it easier to get the brackets right. After that, I'm going to go into the match function. So this is where I'm going to figure out where the word cost is within this horizontal list of headings. So I'm looking for the word cost. I must dollar this off in such a way that when it drags, when the user or I drag this function across, it's allowed to go to the word price. So I can't dollar off the letter C, but when I drag this down, I want it to stay fixed on row 4 because I want it to stay fixed on, you know, the word cost at the top or the word price at the top when I drag it down. After this, comma, lookup value is what I'm trying to find this within. So I'm going to highlight over these headings at the top. I must dollar this off, and then afterwards, comma, 0, because I want an exact match, and then away we go. Now, once I'm ready, if I now press enter, what this now means is if I type in here, you know, a list of items that I'm trying to find, previously I would have had to have done one VLOOKUP for that column, manually then retype another VLOOKUP in here. But because I've used match, if I now drag this across, it will pull through the price and the cost for both of those columns based on the fact that this heading here matches these headings over here, as well as, can you see the items matching in the list over there? So that is how match works and how we can use match in combination with VLOOKUP in order that we only have to do one VLOOKUP for an entire list and we can pull multiple headings back from the source list based on the headings matching.